Welcome back, I'm Tedward, and welcome back to my 2001 E39 M5 in carbon black. I've owned this car since, I think, August of 2013, and there's a few things that this car needs. I just ticked over 84,000 miles on this car on a lovely evening drive the other day. And this has just been a real good workhorse, fun, stylish, executive, luxury, fast sedan to drive. There's a lot of descriptors, but the car isn't perfect. It's pretty good though, honestly. Over time, this has become, honestly, a better example every year than there are out in the world. Because when I bought this, there were perfect examples. People were driving around in 10,000 mile examples. That's pretty rare these days. The leather is all in good shape, but one of the things that is, this is a mystery to me. I have never replaced the battery in this car, to my recollection, okay? Which means that this battery has to be at least 12 years old. It has to be. And I just went and bought this the other day, a new AGM battery, because I realized, I'm on borrowed time here. Now, this car always, when it's at Garage 42, it sits on a C-Tech battery tender. So I think that may have contributed to its survival. But I just feel like there's going to be a day, there's going to be a moment, and it's going to be in the worst case scenario when I go to crank this car. I'll be in the city in a really risky parking zone that will get me towed if I don't get the heck out of there in 5 minutes, and it's not going to start. And that's why I ran in and bought a battery. Now, some of you are like, why would you buy a diehard? Well, I'll tell you why. Because the battery that's in here right now, I actually thought it was a diehard. It's actually a Duralast, but they are owned by the exact same company, so it's the same thing as far as I can tell. If this Duralast gold battery has lasted, I'll fiddle with this. If this Duralast gold battery has lasted this long, then you know what? Isn't that a good case for an advanced auto part or a AutoZone branded thing? Like, they work. Anyway, longer term projects. One thing I didn't get to this year, which maybe we'll do it over the winter if I get ambitious. I would love to do a suspension refresh on this car. I'd love to refinish these wheels, or maybe just find like a fresh new set of these wheels, because one thing that always happens, they just start peeling. This is all just painted and they peel. The problem is, normally with any other car, I would go out and just buy a set of Apex wheels or something else. I just get an aftermarket set. I just truly believe there's only one wheel that looks perfect on this car, and it's this. This style OEM wheel is just as good as it gets. I don't think you can top this, and I would rather just have these refinished and perfected, or buy a properly refinished perfect set of these. I did notice on the terminals there's a little bit of buildup, and I've got some baking soda in here, so we're just going to dunk those terminals in when we disconnect. But I'm really curious what the date code is going to be on this Duralast gold battery that has seemingly lasted longer than any battery I've ever owned. So let me pull it out and see what happens. Okay, get that out. See, this is that corrosion I'm talking about that I would like to clean up a little bit. Precious foam. That's the kind of stuff you don't want to mess up. Let's get this guy off. Ah, just kidding. Get that over there. Okay. I'm very curious what this situation is going to be. So let's get this battery out. Oh, and we have a vent here and everything. That's great. Oh, it's better than I thought. Oh, it's better than I thought. 1208. Dude, this battery has lasted since 2008. Are you kidding me? All right, this is not sponsored, but like the whole built to last Duralast jingle is true. This is unbelievable. All right, here's a little slurry of water and baking soda, and this should help get some of this junk off. It'll bubble up a little bit. There we go. See that? Just bubbles out. Just a little science experiment, and then I'll rinse. Oh, there's a dead spider and a dead cricket in here too. All right, so we'll rinse that out as well. Try to clean this all out, and then we'll be good to go to install our new battery. And I don't know that that one's gonna last 17 years, but this is really something. I was not expecting that whatsoever. All right, we've got lights on in the car. That's a good sign. Let's find out if she starts. Please start. Trip is reset. Nice! And it didn't forget about our service engine soon lights, so it feels right at home. Cool. Everything seems in its proper locations over here. That's nice. Good. All right, well now we can drive it back to Garage 42 because I have to go to the airport. I don't know if I installed that part correctly or not. I might have to adjust that later. It's like a little too tall on that side. Oh, it's always the little things. But I've got to go trade this for the Honda at Garage 42 because I'm going to LA tomorrow and I don't leave this car at the airport. So I'd rather leave the Honda or the Lexus there. Letting it warm up properly. Did I not use a blinker at that? That was shitty of me. My apologies. But driving this around casually is actually really good because it has so much low down torque. I find myself being really in a relaxed, cool place when I'm driving this car, which when I first bought it in 2013, that was not how it felt. I felt like I had this German Autobahn burning monster that needed to be thrashed at all times. And I don't know that I thrashed it that hard, but I certainly wasn't afraid of like hitting second kind of hard. And now I just, maybe I've aged. Maybe it's because I'm not in my early 20s anymore, or maybe it's because I respect the car a little more, but I just really find a lot of joy in wafting along in this comfort. And that's a beautiful thing. It's like you have the performance to be able to do whatever you need to do at any given time, but also if you just want to like chill on the highway and get reasonable fuel economy, because I'll get like 24 miles per gallon out of this thing if I'm cruising on the highway at 70 miles an hour. The second you start climbing, then it's going to drop to 20 pretty quickly and below if you're over 80. But there's just a real charm to driving these cars in 2025 because they aren't the benchmark anymore. This is no longer the fastest thing out there, so there's nothing to prove. Think of it this way. Have you ever had like a Tesla behind you and you're in what you would consider a reasonably fast car, but it's not Tesla fast? So you're like, well, what am I gonna send it? Like this guy's just gonna follow me right off my bumper for my entire pull, and he'll have more left. Like you just wouldn't do that. Whereas like in a Cadillac CT5e Blackwing, I might be a little more encouraged to give it the juice to kind of like assert my dominance on the road. But in this car, I don't have to assert my dominance. I'm just like, yeah, man, I know it looks good. I know it's chill. I know it's fast. If I want to do a little pull, I'll do it, but I'm not going to do it to like show off to you. Unless you're giving me like a thumbs up and you're telling me like, I love your E39 M5 and I just want to hear it. Then by all means, maybe give it a little squirt for the boys. It's really easy to start in second gear in this car too. First gear is really short. So if you want to just slip that clutch a little bit on a reasonably flat piece of pavement, then it behooves you for the smoothness of driving and the lack of that extra shift one too, to use second gear kind of as a first gear. Sometimes I do skip shift first to third when it's cold, just to avoid an unnecessary shift. And that, I remember those days when the Corvettes were finally getting skip shift, and it would go 1 to 4. And I remember like, how is that even possible? And in this car, like that would be way too low of a gear. Yeah, suspension refresh would go a long way. I've got about as much body roll as that Dodge Ram. myself driving this car very aggressively. I know some of you were like, well, that's a shame. I mean, we could do this. But even that doesn't feel that aggressive. That was all like 3,000 RPM. That was nothing. It's nothing for this car. All right, I've got a bit of a vibration. I do. And I have a feeling it's probably just the wheels. So I may have Edwin, while this is back at Garage 42, they've got Hunter wheel balancers there, so he can inspect. When I bought this car, the wheels were essentially square. The guy who owned this, he was the first owner. He must have just sought and destroyed every pothole he could with this car, because I couldn't believe how brutal the ride was when I first got in it. And I brought it to Rim Pro, which is our local wheel specialist. They do they have the kind of funky machine where they can heat up a wheel and re-round it and make it good. Now, you sign a waiver like you're in a hospital that says, hey man, if this wheel cracks, we are not responsible for your dumb shit. And that's true. And they didn't crack, so that's good. They survived the operation. I don't know if they ever really come back to perfect though. But like the vibrations aren't egregious. It could be much worse. I'm just Princess in the P when it comes to highway vibrations. I think Lexus can attest to that. But I would like this car to be like perfectly smooth. And if it's not the wheels and tires, then maybe it's like a driveline vibration, not fully certain, but I hope it's not, because I'd really not like to go through a drive shaft rebalancing. And if I did get a new drive shaft, I would just straight up get a new drive shaft, like OEM. I'd spend whatever money it took to get the proper, correct drive shaft, because I played the rebuild game with my E92 M3 and it just didn't come out right. So I ended up going and finding a totaled E92 M3. My buddy at Woodward Motorsport happened to have one, and he was like, hey, take this one. It's got some miles on it, but it's stock. And it worked. And it worked better than the rebuilt one that got sent out to Texas. That was a real bummer. And I guess the only other issue with this car right now is the rear door on the driver's side. It locks and unlocks, but it sometimes doesn't lock. So I have to go in and like press it manually, and I think there must just be some carnage going on behind the scenes in the door card, and it's just not something I'm willing to peel apart right now for a couple of reasons. One, I don't do interiors. That's a total nightmare for me. I'm gonna have to hire someone to do that because I want it done correctly and I don't want anyone tearing the leather apart or damaging anything. Two, I want to make sure that the weather sealing is all correct when it gets put back together, because I don't want to end up with some terrarium of a humidity situation in that door and then that just rusts away on me because I needed to fix the door lock, which nobody ever uses. So the good news is, on the key, when you lock and unlock this car, when you lock it, it locks all the doors. When you unlock it, there's a cop right there. When you unlock it, you press once for this door and twice for all the doors. And that is kind of nice because it means that I don't have to actually operate that door lock all the time. I can just hit the button once and unlock my driver door, and I'm alone all the time anyway because you guys are the only ones I drive with. You know what? Cheers to the cop, because that slowed me down about 5 miles an hour, and the car's a lot smoother at about 72 indicated, so that's great. This is the shorter route distance-wise, but not time-wise. And lately, I've been trying to get off of highways. I feel like I'm always just on some mission. I gotta get there, so I take the fastest route, but there's more to life than the fastest route. That's a bold statement, but it's true. I just want to experience a little more. Sometimes you gotta slow down and just drive some back roads. And back roads are more fun than highways. All of the time. Almost all of the time. Unless you're with a big rally and you're in the middle of nowhere, there's no traffic, and you're able to really like open cars up. Not something we can do very often on American highways. Those of you in Germany understand. They're like, well, we do this every day. It's my commute to work. It's illegal for me to stay wide open throttle getting 6 miles per gallon. And that's great for you. I envy it to a degree, but we don't get that very often. So if we do that, it's rare and calculated. blinking red. Oh, I guess we're green now. What? Hang on a second. Okay, we're turning around. I'm not gonna cut off this semi-truck though. Yeah, we need to do a quick little... I think you're gonna appreciate what I just saw. Maybe you caught a glimpse of it, maybe you didn't. But I'm a little shocked at what I just saw in that parking lot, and it is worth going back and looking. Here, we'll start off in second. See? Not bad. Okay. In the Tequila's Mexican Cantina parking lot, I have just spotted a Citroen DS, right? That's a DS, or is it SM? I forget which is which. Good Lord. There's a little Fiat 500. And is that an MG? Oh my goodness. That's the DS. Yeah, okay, I'm right. It's a DS. This is... What? Why are these here? Okay. Yeah, I don't understand. I'm glad I stopped. They must... Maybe this guy, like, owns the place? I know the guy that owns this place. What a cool smattering of cars. Let's not go over this curb. That looks like the kind of curb that you wouldn't see at night when it's raining. You know what I'm talking about. And then suddenly you're like, why did I just drop a foot? I want to drive a DS. There's that 1-2-1-3 skip shift. It works pretty well. We're gonna heed this 20-mile-an-hour school zone speed limit, unlike seemingly everyone else driving through this. Blows my mind. Like, people will be like, this maniac's going 88 miles per hour on an empty highway. What a psycho. And then they'll proceed to drive like 40 in a school zone and a parking lot and a small neighborhood. Like, as if 90 on a 3-lane empty freeway is dangerous, and speeding through a school zone with children is like totes cool. I don't know, man. We need better driver training. We need to like have better risk assessment in this country, because I don't think anyone understands how things can go wrong. I'll watch people tailgate each other with cars that definitely don't have the tires or brakes to achieve the stopping distances that they would need in the event of an emergency, and yet here they are, 1 foot off your bumper. Oh, we love this. This looks good. And if he slows down for that school zone, extra points, baby. It's a good idea to always have an idea of what time of day you're driving, especially around now, because like schools are getting out, so school buses are around, and that is important for 2 reasons. One, of course, you don't want to, hurt any children who have just gotten home from school. Maybe they're chasing the ball into the street. Kids chase balls. I've seen it. I think I have a dash cam video of a kid in my neighborhood. I saw the ball and I'm like, oh, I bet there's a kid flying after it. And there was. He flew right after it and he ran straight into the street and everyone's screaming, and it was like calamity. I was driving 10 miles an hour, so like I watched it, I slowed down, and I just watched it unfold, but horrifying. The second thing is, maybe you're on like some fun little road, but there's a couple houses on it. It's 2:30. The buses are dropping off kids. You come around a slightly blind corner, you're going a little hot, and boom, there's a school bus with the stop sign out. Oh, but then there's also a cop sitting behind him, and you blow through it. You don't hurt any kids, but my God, are you going to make the news on a school bus dash cam footage? For sure, because you're like the monster. What an evening newsable story. Use your brain. Home sweet home, back to Garage 42. Man, it doesn't get any better than this for car stories, I gotta tell you. This is great. And there's Mike with the Walden camper van. He's cleaning things up. Love to see it. Yes, next to the Delta. That'll do. Cool. All right, well, welcome back to Garage 42, and I'll go jump into the Honda so I can go to the airport without worrying about my baby getting door dings tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you're as shocked as I am about the battery life on this, please let me know. That I'm blown away. 17 years with that Duralast gold battery. Duralast, please send me some money for advertising this. This is a miracle. It's a miracle. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one. It's good to be back, baby! Make sure we don't hit Josh. He's pacing on the phone.